And we are live.
Hello, people.
What is up, guys? This is the kind of Apple event recap live stream we're doing.
Since, Trevor and I didn't really have time to make a video, and in fact, I actually haven't even seen Apple's keynote for what they launched today. I just found out about 10 minutes ago, so I'm with Trevor here, and we're going to be talking about what happened to try to update you guys.
Exactly. So let's get started here. So I think the first thing you have to understand, guys, this is live. We're doing this for the first time. You know, Eric's has some pretty bad experiences doing live stuff in the past on this channel. So if something goes wrong or goes haywire, we apologize ahead of time. We'll just upload this later. So with that said, anything you want to start off here, Eric?
We don't talk about my past with live shows.
No.
That's all I'm going to say. For about the 5 people that saw my live show last Apple event when Apple came out with the iPhone 6, let's never bring that up again, and I'm very sorry for wasting probably a good 15 minutes of your time. Yeah.
Yeah, that was not good, but it's okay. I mean, you could have done worse things.
I don't know if it could have gotten worse than that, let's be honest.
Okay.
I got there, I was like, hey guys, Apple event happened. Something came out. The iPhone? Yeah, I think it was the iPhone 5. That's pretty much how it went.
Yeah.
So let's not have a repeat of that.
Yeah,
all I'm gonna say.
That's probably a good idea. So anyway,
Apple's event.
Yeah. So you just kind of found out about this whole little thing, this whole little shindig.
More or less. I did try to see a little bit what was going on in school. I saw Apple come out with the iPhone 5S. I saw they come out with the iPhone 6. I said 5S. iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus. I didn't know anything about it because I was too busy with school and I had to go to work. So I pretty much 20 minutes ago sat down on the computer, actually learned what happened. And my knowledge is still probably not as good as Trevor's.
Yeah, I mean, so. I made it a point to make sure, because I knew Eric was going to have work and everything else. So I made it a point to make sure I knew what was going on. So I guess we'll start off the live stream here by kind of telling the facts, the statistics, the information that obviously Apple released and the products they're going to be releasing, et cetera, et cetera. And I guess we'll go into our opinions a little bit later, if that sounds good to you.
Okay, sounds good. So what did Apple release? Do you want to start this off?
That's a great question. I got to make sure my desktop's working. Yes, it is. Okay, so the September event 2014. Apple released, what did they release? The 2 new iPhones. The iPhone 6, which you can see on the screen right now. And let's go to the compare iPhone models page here. So the iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus, which if you can't tell by the screen size comparisons here on the picture you're seeing on the screen, they are... Well, you got a bigger one? A bigger one. Wait, let me rephrase. A bigger one, a bigger... Wait, no. Sorry, I'm going to rephrase again. A big one, a bigger one, a smaller one, and a same size one. Because Apple now has 4 iPhones.
It's a bit crazy.
I'm actually surprised they're selling 4 iPhones now, because I never thought we'd see 4 different models of the iPhone being sold all at the same time. Doesn't sound like Apple.
I'm really not surprised, though. It's just completely changing... topics or not topics, but I didn't see them leaving the iPhone 5C. It's a cheaper phone, and the fact that it's their lowest end phone, they can now sell it for a really low price. So I don't think they would get rid of that just yet. We might see an iPhone 6C later on. I don't know. And I expect Apple to keep the iPhone 5S. They always keep their last generation iPhone. And I felt like they didn't want to just yet leave the 4-inch screen. I think they still kind of wanted to sell that to make people waste some money.
Yeah, no, that's, you know what the whole thing is, where Apple's going to push everything they have. They already probably have millions of these things in a warehouse that are already produced that just are waiting to be sold now. And of course, you have those people where, you used to have to pay an arm and a leg to get an iPhone. You can get an iPhone for free now, the iPhone 5C, which is a perfectly good iPhone, really. I mean, I don't like the quality of it. It's an iPhone 5, though. That's all it is, so it's not bad. But anyway, off topic a little bit. Thank you, Eric, for getting us off topic. You're the person that gets us on topic. It's not.
Usually you get me
I
off
know,
topic.
that's why I'm surprised here. But anyway, back to the screen. I got to make sure, we're here. Okay. So we got a new iPhone. The iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus. I actually kind of like the name. Because it really, the plus just means bigger in this case. So what do you get for this? Well, first of all, let's talk a little bit about what we're dealing with here. Of course, we're not going to go through every single detail. We're going to miss something, but we'll go through the things that Apple's really trying to push on the device. It's available in silver, gold, and space gray. Now, I will be getting the I will be getting the space gray one. I think I kind of like that one the best.
Why not white, man?
They don't have. Well, they have. That would be the silver.
The silver.
One. Yeah, I don't like the
People
silver.
call it white.
I don't like the silver part, to be honest with you, out of it. But the iPhone 6 Plus and the iPhone 6 both are featuring Apple's new A8 chip, which is
faster.
Cool. Again, yeah, kind of. Ooh. If you saw my Apple, recap or my Apple prediction / my opinions on the next iPhone, I said this and I'm going to say it again. It's an iPhone. You're going to expect great performance because that's the only product that Apple sells on a mobile, only phone device. Everything's going to be optimized in and out for it, so it's an Apple device.
If you want to know, it's about 84% faster on the GPU side and about 50% faster on the CPU side. And also with Apple's new Metal architecture or something for gaming, everything's just going to be even faster. And I think you get the point. Faster, and more power efficient. Just for all the tech spec nerds out there that wanted to know.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, that's absolutely true. It has the Touch ID thing, which is just the fingerprint, scanner thing. That's kind of standard now on the iPhones, but it's still cool. I'm not going to deny. I like that. I've been wanting that. Faster LTE speeds. Now, this is important. Now, I'm not 100% up and with the specs, kind of, and the correct terminology and the specifics behind this, but I'm going to lay this down for the average consumer because I do understand it to a base level at this moment. So most LTE phones support certain bands of LTE service. This phone technically, I'm going to say this. This phone, according to Apple, supports more bands than any other phone. So it's supporting tons of different LTE bands, around the world. And this is making speeds up to 150 megabytes per second down on this phone in certain areas.
I wish I had that right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Really, guess what? Only one carrier in the United States at this moment will be able to take advantage of this, and that's T-Mobile. So, T-Mobile for the win once again, but that's because just they have a little bit of a newer infrastructure. I mean, it's late. That's why it's new, because they were really late to the game. But they have a newer infrastructure. I'm sure you will see Verizon, AT&T, maybe Sprint, come to this eventually. But LTE speed's always a good thing.
What else is T-Mobile offering?
Oh, good segue. T-Mobile also has Wi-Fi calling, which I love, and also calling over LTE. Now, that's really cool as well because I've said this for I feel like 3 years now. We're getting done with the age of cell towers. They're bad quality. It's not real good, etc., etc. So it's going to become the age of data calling, VoIP kind of on your phone to begin with. We've been there in some markets, other markets we haven't. There are phones that already support this. And I remember, kind of off topic, but kind of on topic, remember a few weeks ago I told you that I had a call on my Samsung Galaxy Note 3 that said HD call?
Yes, I remember
that was
you said
actually a calling over LTE, and I wasn't sure, but after doing some research, the Note 3 and T-Mobile already support that. And that was a call over LTE, and that's why I said it was actually a lot better quality. It was almost like having a FaceTime call, if you're familiar with the better quality, or even a Skype call, kind of like what me and Eric are doing to do this broadcast. It sounded actually that good, and it was just a regular phone call. I didn't even know it was seamless. So that's what this new iPhone is going to be offering. And again, right now, T-Mobile only, because I guess T-Mobile's easy to work with because they already have these services in play.
I'm a bit disappointed that it's only on T-Mobile, mostly because in my area, I mean, Trevor's not far away from me, but for when I use my phone, I find that Verizon really has the best coverage for exactly where I am, where my house is located. So I really wish that Verizon had this Wi-Fi calling feature. I didn't know it didn't have it till Trevor told me, so I was a bit disappointed about that.
Yeah, for sure. So, moving along a little bit, it's got a new 8 megapixel iSight camera. So that's
not
cool.
4K.
Not 4K, but I wasn't expecting, well, an eyesight camera to be 4K at very least. I guess the thing that's interesting, and I guess I don't know, and I'm looking through this now, you can see the different versions. If we didn't say, maybe we didn't, the iPhone 6 is 4.7 inches, the iPhone 6 Plus is 5.5. You can see the size comparison right now. These are very thin phones. As I'm going through the pictures here, you can see. It's the thinnest iPhones ever made, which seems to be what they say every single year. The iPhone 6 is 6.9 millimeters. The iPhone 6 Plus is 7.1 millimeters. You can see how these slim these things look, and they may resemble another Apple product that is out there, and that's the iPod Touch 5th generation. It pretty much does look like that, pretty much spot on. It's got maybe a little more roundish screen to it almost looks like. You can see even the camera sticks out the back a little bit.
Yeah, that's very similar to the iPod Touch.
Yeah,
but I think that's because the phones are getting so thin at this point that there's not enough room to have the lenses in them.
No, that's actually very true, where we've gotten to the point now where the lenses take up more room than any other part of the screen and or the phone. And this is amazing when you think about this. 1 year can make this much of a difference. What are we going to make? Eventually, phones will just be made of air or something. Because how does next year do they make this thing any smaller? Like, I thought when the iPhone 5 came out and I got that, I was like, this thing feels so small. I'm actually scared to hold it. I'm going to get this thing and it's going to be like paper.
I worry when anytime they make thinner phones, what if it gets too thin that like it's not gonna be comfortable in my hands? And I keep saying that, but every time I hold a thin phone, I mean not every time, but usually when I hold a thin phone and talk about iPhones, I've never really held an uncomfortable iPhone.
No, that's true. I'll give you that. iPhones I've dealt with, which is quite a few of them. I've never said it's been uncomfortable, and that's actually the one complaint, but also awesome thing I have about iPhones is they're so gorgeous and feel so nice that I never want to have them in a case. Of course, if you don't keep your phone in a case, you know what can happen.
Bad things could happen.
Exactly.
Say that.
Exactly. So, moving along. Okay. Thin. Looks like iPod Touch. Now this I'm a little disappointed about. This is definitely something we should talk about. The resolution. Now, I want to start by saying both these iPhones have, well, a lot of pixels. They're pushing a lot on these new, what Apple's calling the Retina HD display.
Ooh la la.
But here's the dealio. The iPhone 6, 4.7 inches, is rocking a 1334 by 750 display.
It's okay.
And, of course, the iPhone 6 Plus is a 1920 by 1080, full HD. Now, I'm not complaining about the iPhone 6, but come on, Apple. We have phones that are the 4.7 inches, even smaller, that are rocking 1080p displays. Why are we at 1334 by 750?
Yeah, that does seem... I mean, it's not even that it's that low, but look at the PPI, pixels per inch. On the iPhone 6 Plus, we have a PPI of 401. Why couldn't they keep that the same or closer with the iPhone 6 with the 4.7 inch display that has a PPI of 326?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
It says Retina HD display, but is 1334 by 650 even... Can that be considered HD? I don't think so.
It would be considered more than 720, which is what they said. Like, that's the thing. That was the funny thing. When Tim Cook was up and was like, we're here with our new, Retina HD, what we're calling Retina HD displays. They're so gorgeous. It's over 720p HD. Like, oh my God, 720p. We've had that for 10 years. I mean... I
refuse to even shoot my videos on 720p. Though, I mean, it's funny that I say that when this stream is in 720p, but...
Oh, come on, shut up. I don't want to push our luck here with the bandwidth. I just want it to be smooth.
I will forgive you. I mean, realistically, do you even see much of a difference between 720p and 1080p, at least on YouTube?
Yeah. Yes. To me, yes, absolutely. And in phones, I see it dramatically. I've had a lot of phones... And when I compare a 720p screen or even past iPhone Retina fancy displays, I mean, when you're looking at a 1080p display like the Note 3 I have here, thing's gorgeous in comparison.
I mean, I don't sit here and compare videos 24/7.
Oh,
last
that's
time
not what
I
you do
remember,
all the time?
I don't do that. Last time was really comparing things was when I was on my MacBook Pro that doesn't have an HD. Well, it does have an HD display, but it doesn't have full HD. So I guess I couldn't really immerse myself in the full HD 1920 by 1080 quality.
Hmm.
Also, with mentioning the display, and besides the fact that it has higher pixels, higher resolution, whatnot.
Higher contrast.
Yeah, it's saying it's supposed to be higher contrast. Supposed to have a bit more of a wider viewing angle because
Mm-hmm.
the iPhone 5S obviously didn't have a good enough viewing angle for everyone.
No.
I don't know.
And it's something to do with the fact that if you're like on an airplane or something like that and you're watching a movie with a friend or something like that, you're able to, kind of be to the side or do whatever you want to do and, be able to watch with your friends and stuff like that. I mean, it wasn't a problem before, but I guess with the bigger display now that it's more feasible to be kind of in the situation where you might want to share a movie with your friends or something like that.
If anything, though, I think I'd rather have less of a viewing angle so people can't look at my screen.
I'm not going to I'm
know.
not going to disagree with that. Actually, that's a good point. You should work for Apple
Because I feel like we're getting such big phones. And so since they're bigger, they're easier for people to see what you're doing. Not saying you're doing anything bad, but just privacy. Like with all these bigger phones, you're getting less and less privacy.
Okay, if I had a sound effect, but Eric said that pretty much all my sound effects are banned on this channel. I would say privacy doesn't exist anymore. Just deal with it. Come on. Whether it's the NSA hackers or, not to mention all our photos that get freaking uploaded to iCloud are going to be leaked to TMZ anyway. So
if you want to see more information about that, go check out our YouTube channel, the Inside Networks Us.
Yeah, I did talk about that
in the Let's Talk podcast. I almost said Inside.
So it doesn't make a difference anyway. Like privacy doesn't exist. I'm not so concerned about that, but I totally get what you mean. Obviously it's a concern, but obviously Apple was like, it's not that big of a concern. Like I'm sure someone thought it. Well, we're making the screen bigger. Maybe we have a privacy issue, but at the same time, if someone wants to steal your data, no matter if they're looking at your phone, trying to steal something, you can do it. There's no way to stop it. It's gonna happen.
With all privacy and stuff mentioned, does iOS 8 have any other better privacy? That was a pretty bad segue. I'm sorry.
I guess we're done with screens.
Yeah, I would say so. With iOS 8 mentioned coming to the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus, Apple didn't really talk about a whole lot of new things that are coming with iOS 8. They basically just recapped what they already mentioned. If you do want iOS 8, it'll be coming out September 17th. Is that right, Trevor?
Yes.
17th. Don't expect what you've seen already. We haven't seen anything else too big. I mean, I don't think, did Apple mention anything else with iOS 8? I don't know.
iOS 8, I didn't exactly see that part of the event. Okay. And then after it streamed live, I wasn't able to watch it because it's not, at least last time I checked, it wasn't uploaded yet to watch again. But what I kind of do know more than anything else is I did run iOS 8 beta. I think I was on beta 2 before I got rid of my iPhone 5. What I can tell you about it from my beta experiences and what I can tell you about it from what Apple's saying is it's supposed to be what iOS 7 should have been. Like, it's supposed to be the bug fixed, kind of worked out, adding some additional features. You do have additional features that I don't know if these are exclusive to the iPhone 6. I'm pretty sure this is actually exclusive to the iPhone 6 Plus, but you got like landscape mode and stuff like that the OS is supporting now. You're going to have that new Apple Pay system, which is in iOS 8.
Yes, the Apple Pay system. I forgot about that.
And from what I understand about it is parts of it will work on old iPhones, and some of the other parts that require NFC and the other things will only work on the new iPhones. But you will have some functionality on the other iPhones, whatever that ends up being. I'm not sure. So, as I've said before, iOS 8 is not the revolutionary iOS, but I think it will be solid. Sometimes there's sometimes iOS 7 was a little flaky. Let's just be all real here. It's a little on the flakier side. I don't know if you would agree with that, Eric, but in my experience, flaky, not always perfect, at least compared to past versions of iOS that I've thought. Like iOS 5 or iOS. Wait, I'm so confused with numbers now. iOS 6, solid as hell. I mean, solid as a rock. I mean, solid. Actually, hell's probably not more of a liquidy thing. Probably not solid. Actually, maybe a bad example. But it was solid OS. iOS 7, but iOS 8's pretty good.
Personally, I didn't really have a huge issue with iOS 7. Yes, I saw that where there were some problems. I saw Apple kind of slacked with iOS 7, but overall, I kind of expected what they did. With iOS 7, they did a lot of visual stuff. And yeah, they didn't have a lot of new features and whatnot, no new functionality, but that's what I expected really of Apple. So I took the looks, took what they gave, and was like, okay, it's not really, I do agree with you. It's not exactly a solid operating system. They definitely could have done a lot of things, but I was okay with it, more or less. iOS 8, it looks like, yeah, it's what iOS 7 should have been. There is some nice features and stuff. I'm still looking personally for more features in possible, I guess, iOS 9, but I guess it's a little bit of a different topic.
I do have a few other features that I just remembered based on my experience with iOS 8, and these were kind of cool. You can play a song, and Siri will tell you, who does the song and stuff, so you don't have to use one of those third-party music apps. If there's music playing in the background, Siri will do that. Siri's actually been upgraded in iOS 8 quite a bit, added a lot of new stuff. Don't ask me what it is, because I honestly don't remember, but that was a feature that I remember that worked decently, actually, especially for, like, Beta 2 or something like that. So I'd imagine even the little problems that had, this is probably, going to be great at launch. It was that, and what else was I going to say? I think I was going to say, maybe that was it. Siri. I know Siri was a big thing. There was something else in my mind that I liked, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. I mean, I know what it is. iMessage. iMessage. New stuff on iMessage, where you can now send voice messages to people through iMessage, and iMessage has kind of been revamped in some aspects.
I didn't exactly remember voice messages not being an ability to send on iMessage, but oh well. I know you can send videos on iMessage.
You can't do it right now, yeah. Voice messages you cannot do over iMessage right now.
Okay. I mean, this is obviously already talked about if you know anything about iOS 8. And also, I mean, OS X 070 coming out, is I am definitely looking forward to the integration between the two OSs, with calling, with just sending information back and forth. They seem to have some nice things coming, which I'm going to be waiting for. But I also had to wait for OS X 070, which we don't know when that's coming out.
Yeah. So back to some other stuff.
Wait, but I have a question about the Apple paying system.
Okay, I have an answer then, maybe.
Can I pay with my wrist?
Yes, you can. Okay, so we're gonna mention that now. Okay, see, we're jumping all over the place. I had some more iPhone statistics, and you're jumping all over the place here.
Well, there's comments right now, and people are yelling at us for not talking about the watch.
Okay, we were gonna get to it. Relax. Okay, the watch. You want me to talk about the watch here?
Apple's watch, not the iWatch.
No, not the iWatch. Okay, so Apple's watch, that's what they're pretty much calling it. The watch. We'll call it that. It's a watch. It goes on your wrist.
It tells the time.
It does indeed tell the time. It uses your phone. It's pretty much useless by itself. It's a smartwatch. That's woo! No, but in all reality, it's what we've been wanting from Apple for 2 years now. I feel like people have been rumoring the iWatch or whatever. I'm just looking here so I can get some photos for you guys. Here we go. The watch. That's all it says. The Apple logo and then watch. Coming early 2015. It's like a movie. The Watch. Coming early 2015. Learn about the Apple Watch. Yeah, they call it the Apple Watch here. Pretty much, you got some cool stuff on it. It's stylish. That's the thing about Apple with this watch. They hired actually some famous watchmaker person. And that's how
me?
What?
I said like me.
Yeah, like Eric, totally famous. And they focus very much on design. I'm not going to say they didn't do functionality in it, because I think they did that fine. But, design is the main thing. And they have 3 main versions of the watch. They have what they just call the watch. Watch Sport and Watch Edition. Ooh, what's the difference between all of them? Pretty much exactly that. The watch, I think, just the basic one. It's a smartwatch, nothing real special. The Sport, tuned to your sports peoples a little bit more, where you're going to see more, like the heart, monitor and, blah, 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 blah.
With the sport watch, I believe also for the band, like the band that goes around your wrist,
like
it's a little bit different. It's rubber. I think they said something about it's supposed to like be anti-sweat something, like supposed to not be collecting
That'd
sweat,
be nice.
obviously. I heard something about it possibly being a little bit water resistant. So you can like, I wouldn't say go swimming with it, but you could possibly just walk out in the rain and it hits your watch.
I would
It should be
imagine
okay.
so. I mean, the Samsung version of it is. The Samsung Gear 2, which I had, is water resistant and sand resistant. I'd imagine this would have to be. I'm looking here to confirm that, but I'm not necessarily seeing anything. But people are seeing wonderful iWatch photos right now. I got to say, the Sport, if I'm going to get one, I mean, unless I'm going to go with the gold, which we'll show right here. This is the watch edition. It's 18 karat gold. Just geez. I mean, I don't think I could even rock this thing. I mean, this is too blingy for me, but you can see it's amazing. But yeah, I mean, wow, look at that leather strap. That is I've never said this before, but that's a sexy watch. I mean, geez. I don't know what Apple's trying to do here. I think what's going to end up happening, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what's going to end up happening. You know how Apple signed, just bought Beats and everything, and Beats, it's like a rapper. You're taking celebrities and bringing them into these stupid headphones that aren't even that good. They're going to give celebrities these watches, and this is going to become the new rage. It's going to be like, oh, do you have your Apple Watch? Do you have, like, that's why they call it the watch, because that's going to be the new watch. The Apple's onto something here. Instead of them calling it the iWatch or something like that, like a product, they just took something that already had a name, a watch, and they just called their product Watch because that's exactly what it's going to replace, the watch.
In a few years, Apple will be the only company to sell watches.
In a few years, Apple will be the only company to sell anything.
So you're saying Apple's going to be taking over the entire market for everything?
Yeah. Water, Apple. Pears, Apple. Anyway, here's some photos of the actual just regular watch. This guy is like soaked in water, so obviously this thing is something.
Personally, with the watch, I'm actually like, it does look nice, don't get me wrong. I'm actually a bit surprised though that they didn't try to make, I'm not saying they didn't try to, but they didn't come out with a round version of this watch.
You know what's surprising? Funny you say that. When I was talking to my peoples over at T-Mobile about the Samsung sponsor that I had, with the Samsung Gear 2 and all that, the guy was saying like, oh, I really like the I think it's the Gear 2 Neo. It's the round, version of their watch. And he's like, it's so comfortable. Like, it just fits around the wrist so nicely. And I was like, yeah, but it's stupid. It looks stupid. It may be really comfortable and more comfortable than just the regular Gear 2, but it was more comfortable. And I think Apple, again, cared way more about design and the way it looked than maybe even being comfortable. But I'm guessing, considering how much work Apple did to make this darn watch, considering the price of the watch, being, this thing's probably comfortable. It's probably beautiful. It's probably, I can't even speak about functionality because I don't know what the hell it does. I mean, at this point, like, I mean, it's a smartwatch. I would imagine it does things we would expect a smartwatch to do. Take your phone calls, do some maybe brief text messaging type stuff. Obviously sports stuff, check your heartbeats. Of course, tell the time. Probably has its own little app store. I mean, paying through NFC with your, payment thingamajig Apple has now, that's the type of stuff. But, that's kind of all we're seeing out of smartwatches nowadays.
So I think that with smartwatches, like some people are like, I want my smartwatch to do more. Other people are like, I like my smartwatch. People have to realize that at least right now, a smartwatch isn't going to be replacing your phone. It's just supposed to be an add-on to your phone and really an easy way to check like notifications on a phone.
Yes, and I will say one thing that's great. Again, I've used a smartwatch, great for notifications. What I will say is because this is an Apple product and because it's interacting with the iPhone, Apple has done it right. Apple has done it right. They're going to have the system, like it's Android's feel or Samsung's feels a little misplaced sometimes. Like it's not 100% totally there. Just from the screenshots and what I'm reading here on Apple's website, they've done this right, or they will be doing this right. The way everything looks and the way it just integrates from your phone to your wrist. They've definitely done this right. It's just going to be, is it going to, apply to the masses? Is this going to be something people actually buy? That's kind of yet to be seen. Smartwatches haven't really taken off yet. Apple may be the first here, and it wouldn't doubt me if they were. I wouldn't be surprised, and I wouldn't be sad about it either. I'll be getting the watch when it comes out.
Obviously, the gold
year.
edition.
Most likely not the gold edition. But I'll definitely be getting that when that comes out because I'm very curious about the whole thing. And it looks beautiful. I got to say, even like the cheaper ones, the whole thing looks pretty darn good, and they have a decent amount of what looks to be stock apps. And there's definitely a lot of things on it, and of course, Siri's on it. So just remember that, Siri on your wrist.
Now, with the Apple Watch, first to address the comments, no, this watch does not have a camera built onto it.
No.
But then again, why do you want a camera on your wrist? I'm pretty sure you're going to be taking pretty bad pictures with it.
Not to mention the Samsung Gear 2 that did have the camera on it only recorded a burst of 15 seconds. So look how useful that thing is.
Yeah, true. And I don't think you really mentioned this exactly, Trevor, but controlling the smartwatch, Apple really went to an extent to figure out how should we use a smartwatch or how should we use a watch. All these Android Wear devices you've seen just solely, you have a touchscreen and you're just swiping through things almost like an iPod mini 5th gen. I don't know. What generation was that little square one, Trevor? Do you remember?
I don't know. 5th or 6th. I don't remember. There's been a lot of iPod minis.
Nonetheless, Apple really went to an extent to figure out how to use this watch. And yes, there's a touchscreen on the watch. That's a great way to interact with the watch. But also there's a little dial on the side known as I think a crown. And that really helps you navigate through the menus, navigate through the apps, activate Siri, activate, I guess, the almost home screen on this watch.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, the watch and the phone are going to... I mean, I'm sure all the settings and everything that's on the watch itself, you can adjust, on the, iPhone itself and interact and stuff like that. I mean, that's at least the experience I had off the Samsung products. But yeah, I mean, I think Apple's made this thing so is a watch. They made it so it feels like a watch. It is a watch. It's got the dial thing, Again, how this is all going to play in and how it's taking kind of a luxury watch style and bringing it into a new, modern, different type of watch altogether, I'm not sure how it's all going to work out. But I think Apple definitely try to play creativeness and high-end and quality.
I mean, with creativeness mentioned, the watch, I don't know much about this, but it looks like at the bottom of the watch, the part that will be touching your wrist or your upper part of your wrist, it looks like it's a giant, like, I don't know what word to use, but like rumble pack, I guess is the way to use it. To say.
Yeah, you can see a picture of it right on the display here. I think it's a few different things. I think it's part of the heart monitor stuff and
it looks
some of the
like
other stuff.
It looks like you could also kind of set like specific vibrates to different notifications. Like if I want to have a text message, if I get a text message on my watch, I can make it vibrate 2 times. If I got an email, I can make it vibrate 1 time. I think you can also kind of make some patterns to it.
Yeah, maybe so if you get a text message from your girlfriend or wife and you don't want to answer, it's like 2 times, and it's like, oh, it's my wife. I don't have to worry about that right now.
Just forget about that. My watch didn't go off.
Yeah, watching, only 2 vibrates, not 3. We know it's not that important.
To go back to the comments again, this watch does have a touchscreen. I don't know why you're thinking it does not. It does have a touchscreen, but it also has the crown on the side for navigation. You can't do everything on the touchscreen, but then again, it can't do everything on the crown dial thing on the side.
I think they added that just to make it more watch-like. I don't think it was for any real functionality, but they said, hey, we're going to put this thing here to make it look like a watch, and we're going to add, function to it, but I don't think it's necessarily. Yeah, that works.
I mean, looking again at Apple's old iPod Nano, whatever generation it was, the generation that was the little square that some people made bracelets out of so they could use it as a watch. Obviously, it wasn't a smartwatch, didn't connect to your phone, but a watch nonetheless. They kind of proved that with a small screen, they could make an OS that worked decently. Sure, I don't know how great it would be for a smartwatch, but I think it definitely could be doable. But I guess Apple just threw out the crown on the side. Yes, it does make it look like more of a watch, because look at most watches you have nowadays. At least if they're simple watches, there's just one dial on the side.
Yeah, and I think the other thing, too, just remember, and I think we should get off the watch in a second, because there's a few other things I just want to talk about the phone, too, real fast. But another thing to remember about the watch, too, is they hired a really high-end watchmaker to design these watches. Like, they stole him pretty much. He was, in charge of some Italian watch company or something like that, and they pretty much stole him with money. They said, we're going to give you loads amount of money to come work for us and design these watches. This was designed by an expert watchmaker. A guy that's, a watchmaker. I mean, watchmaking's a really difficult task, if you did not know. It's like one of those precision type things where they took that precision that's in, a watch that some people would call it art, and they made it into a smartwatch, which I'm actually excited for that fact alone. That's the reason you're seeing the, kind of what's there. Is the fact they took, instead of kind of starting over, they took a watch, there's the fundamentals of a watch and the elegance of a watch, and they've put it into the smartwatch. Instead of just starting on a blank slate for, let's make a smartwatch, I think it's a good approach. I'm really glad they stole that guy. So I'm happy with that part of it, and again, we'll, especially on the channel, we're months away from the Apple Watch. We'll talk about it more as we know more information. I guess some information is a little bit limited at the moment. We only have what Apple's willing to give us, so not really sure about functionality, kind of what it looks like and stuff like that realistically, besides what Apple's videos that they show us, which of course Apple's going to make the thing look brilliant. So kind of a little bit further away, but we'll definitely, mention it, bring it up, do what we got to do with it later down the road. Of course, I will be getting one, so definitely videos that next year.
Someone asked on the comments, how do you charge the smartwatch? I don't know if you saw anything about that, Trevor, but from what I'm seeing, it looks like there's a dock kind of that goes on the bottom of the smartwatch.
Oh, yeah, that's probably it. But guess what? Samsung's about to sue Apple because Samsung came up with that first, and I guarantee you lawsuit over the docking thing. I can tell you on the Samsung Gear 2, there's a little cradle that goes under the watch. It's like a dock cradle type thing. It sits under the watch and it charges. So I'm guessing that the Apple Watch coming next year is going to be the same thing.
Well, if Samsung sues Apple, well, that's kind of a usual thing.
Yeah,
but yeah, it looks like that's what is happening with the charging thing. I don't know if how well it's gonna dock to, is it magnetically on there? I'm guessing it would be.
Apple magnetics. They'll call it They'll call it the Mag Watch. No, the Safe Watch connector. No. Wait, maybe, you know what? It's very well possible. They're gonna call it the Bolt adapter. Get it? Because they have the Lightning connector. The Bolt. The Thunder dock.
No, the Thunder dock. The Thunder dock. That's stupid.
I love it. Anyway, let's get back to the iPhone 6 briefly, because there was things that Eric went on a tangent about the watch, and I want to get and talk a few of these key things on the iPhone 6. Key things, Eric. iPhone 6. 64-bit architecture. I know it's the same as last year's, but I don't think enough people knew that, nor respect the fact that we're in 64-bit architecture in cell phones nowadays. Pretty impressive, actually.
And not many applications even utilized it when it did come out. Not even now, not many applications are utilizing it, but there are more.
But yeah, and there will be more. I mean, now every iPhone except for the 5C will be, the 5C isn't supported, but every iPhone now will be supported now, 64-bit architecture. So as soon as we get the old ones out, one more generation, and we're fully there. So we're getting there. But has the A8 chip, as we said before, but it has the M8 motion. I can never say this word right.
Motion coprocessor.
Coprocessor. Okay. So, it's pretty much it means the iPhone's going to be faster than the last one. Woo-hoo-hoo. Anyway.
Every time.
Pretty much, I think Eric actually mentioned this stuff before, but we're talking about 50% faster CPU performance. Don't know.
Something like that.
How that's even possible. An 84 times better GPU performance. Of course, this is from the original iPhone. That's how they base these specs off. It's 50 times faster than the original iPhone. Woo, that's really hard to do. But obviously, impressive numbers within themselves, regardless. 2 billion transistors strong. That's amazing within itself. Battery life. Let's talk about that real fast.
Oh, yes. I completely blew a battery life out of this before, didn't I?
Yeah. So, iPhone 6, 50 hours of audio, 11 hours of HD video, 11 hours of Wi-Fi browsing, 10 hours of LTE browsing, 10 hours of 3G browsing. That's interesting how it's the same for 3G and LTE. They've made that optimization much better. 3G talk, 14 hours, and standby, 10 days, or 250 hours. Now, the iPhone 6 Plus, watch this number go up. The audio, 80 hours, HD video, 14 hours, Wi-Fi browsing, 12 hours, LTE browsing, 12 hours, 3G browsing, 12 hours, 3G talk, 24 hours, and standby, 16 days, or 384 hours.
Now, some people might not really care exactly about all those hours and stuff, but basically just realize the iPhone 6 iPhone 6 Plus has a better and longer battery life, which is, I think, a big reason why I would consider getting the iPhone 6 Plus.
That's why I am getting it for longer battery and a bigger screen. But yeah, longer battery is actually very important to me. I don't like charging my phone.
Neither do I. I mean, if with the iPhone 6 Plus and then a giant battery charging pack, like like a case that charges your phone, you might be unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Now let's talk about camera, because we didn't mention this at all on the phone.
Slow motion.
We are talking, and I know Eric's the camera guy here, but 1080p at 60 frames per second.
Now, did they have 60 frames per second in the last one?
I don't think so.
I don't think they did.
No. 240 frames per second slow-mo. And they are now offering time-lapse video.
I approve.
And you can now shoot HD video and then watch the stunning results on the larger Retina HD display. Ooh.
I also think there is HDR video.
Eric, we didn't get there yet.
I'm okay.
We didn't get there. I mean... Patience, my friend. Anyway, what you see on the screen right now is actually a photo taken on the iPhone 6, which is... I know Eric can't see it, but this is taken by a professional. This iPhone is probably, mounted on some type of fancy tripod, and, it's stable mount. Like, this is not a legit photo someone probably would take. But the fact that this image did come from the lens, the processing that goes into an iPhone 6 is absolutely freaking amazing, because it's gorgeous. But I digress. Let's go down a little bit. The iSight camera, better too. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe it's an 8-megapixel iSight camera. It does nothing except for make you look all fancy when you're taking your selfies. It's got a different type of focusing now and better auto stabilization and optical image stabilization and just better overall stuff that we see every year. I mean, nothing really totally noteworthy. Though there was something. It was with the panorama. The panoramic photos now can be up to 43 megapixels. So that's actually pretty darn big.
I don't know what they were up to before. I want to say around 32.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but it's pretty impressive nonetheless. As for what you were saying, the what's it called? The
HDR.
HDR, I'm not seeing that to be...
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I thought I saw something about HDR video, which... If that is the case, then basically you're going to have videos that are going to have better dynamic range.
Found it. HDR video.
Okay.
Improved HDR photos and video. The new sensors enable beautiful HDR photos and video with great dynamic range, exactly what you just said, and automatically giving you better looking video calls and selfies. That's what it says. I don't know what the HDR video really entails, though. They don't really go into that here. They mention it once here that I see on this page about the camera.
Basically, how HDR video should work is if I'm outside shooting a video, I'm standing in my driveway and you can see the sky behind me. Neither one of the elements are going to get blown out because the video is going to take one frame in the video is going to be underexposed. The next frame is going to be overexposed, and they're going to be put together, and it's going to be more or less all equal. So you can see the sky perfectly fine. You're able to see me perfectly fine. Everything be able to be seen perfectly fine. I mean, that's just the basics I know of it. I don't know how the iPhone 6 actually is going to handle it. The way I'm mentioning it is how my DSLR actually will shoot HDR video. Mm-hmm. But then I have to edit it, and I haven't actually tried that yet, so there's that.
Well, moving on from the camera, because that's about all we can comment on it now. But again, wait for the channel a few weeks when I get my iPhone 6. We'll definitely have some, different tests and stuff like that.
Well, did you mention the optical image stabilization?
I did, kind of, briefly.
Kind of. If anyone didn't know, the iPhone 6 Plus does have optical image stabilization when the iPhone 6 does not. Basically, that means that you're going to get probably slightly more stable shots and more clear shots on the 6 Plus. But I don't know how big the difference is going to be.
I'm going to get the 6 Plus, so we'll see how that reacts. But I won't really have an iPhone 6 to compare. But obviously, when you have a feature like that, it's better than not having it. But anyway, moving on from the camera, because I just want to get through a few more things here. It has new Wi-Fi, the 802.11 AC. So that's really cool that we see that now. Faster speeds. AC is the new standard, really, and kind of on its way out. So, we'll see more devices with AC. I got quite a few devices now. I got the NVIDIA tablet. I got my MacBook. My future iPhone. AC is the new thing. It's coming soon. So we talked about the fingertip thing, so that's here. We talked about the wallet. By the way, I guess your wallet without Apple Pay. That's what they're calling this. Apple Pay. That's coming in October. So that's not going to be available at launch of this phone, but October. So we'll see how that is.
Isn't that kind of the same with when Passbooks came out?
Yeah, you're kind of right about that. Passbooks was kind of a very similar thing, which I felt like they wanted to make this, but again, didn't quite do it. So this is kind of their reattempt at that.
Yeah, obviously I don't have an iPhone, but I could never really see myself using Passbooks, mostly because I don't do a whole lot of traveling.
Mm-hmm. So, also what Apple's saying here, the biggest iOS release ever. Here are some, iOS features. It's iOS. As much as I would love to say, like, this thing's amazing, it probably... it's not like you're not going to know how to use this thing. It's not like it's revolutionary, but it looks pretty darn smooth and nice and fancy, and it looks good. I would say just cosmetically, from the pictures they have here and stuff, it looks nice. So, that's always a plus, but not necessarily useful. So, we have officially gone down the iPhone 6 page and have completed and told you guys about everything here that the new iPhones have to offer. I missed something. Oh, no.
I don't know where this is on Apple's page, so I can't really say anything. But if you want to use your iPhone with one hand, apparently, you can tap the home button, and then all the icons will kind of like shift down, so you can use one hand.
This is on the iPhone 6 Plus, and they did this because of one-handed use. I will give Apple that. I give them a lot of credit for trying, because I have the Note 3 right now, and I will say you cannot use it with one hand. Impossible. I will definitely be willing to give the iPhone 6 Plus a chance in this department when it comes to the one-handed use. I wasn't expecting to even try it with one hand, but the fact that they made a cool like double tap or triple tap or do some fancy gesture or something makes it kind of one-handed use where everything just goes kind of to the side, or I don't know how it all works yet, but it does something fancy.
I'm looking at a pic from Gizmodo at the moment, and basically literally everything shrinks and goes down, but to be honest, it doesn't look that cleaned up. It kind of looks like an afterthought. That Apple just like shifted everything down and didn't really care about the layout. Like, it looks like it's kind of overlapping the little bubbles or circles at the bottom that that indicate how many pages you have. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what how this actually works.
Yeah. Also, just want to mention real fast, too, going back to the camera, I'm looking at specs here. I just want to mention this, too, that the front-facing camera is only 720p still. So...
But it does have a better f-stop of f2.4 or 2.2, so it's going to be brighter, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to complain, really. And, yeah, NFC, I guess that was kind of implied considering the pay stuff, but we do have NFC now, which is, great.
NFC will be working for, like you said, with the payment stuff. Is there any updates with Bluetooth, or are we on the latest? I don't...
Give me no, all Bluetooth 4.0 is still the same.
Okay. And going back to the comments for a second, the Apple Watch will connect to the iPhone with Bluetooth. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think Apple really indicated that, but
it will be. It's not going to be NFC. It's not going to be Wi-Fi. It'll be Bluetooth. Also, just really cool, FaceTime calls will be built before on the past iPhones. It was all H.264. Well, Apple is again stepping up their game a little bit, where it will be also supporting H.265. So we'll have a whole new encoding as well. Which H.265, if you guys don't know, is well, I guess a more a lower. Well, how do I explain this? It's like I'm trying.
H.265. H.264 first is a compression codec, and H.265 is another compression codec. Basically, the new version, H.265, compresses your video even more than H.264, but it's supposed to compress it in a way so you don't lose as much quality, but at the same time, you need a more powerful processor to decode the footage so you can play it back. So since we have these new A8 processors with better graphics, better CPU, we're going to have more power to be able to transmit the H.265. Thus, really, it should be making higher quality. It'll be utilizing the phone more, but it should also be sending less information over LTE or over Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So you won't be using as much of your data.
Awesome. So, now you may be saying, these phones sound amazing. When can I get one? You're like, when can I order one? Like, I want this.
I have the money sitting at my desk right now. I need you to tell me right now, Trevor, so I can order it.
So, bigger than bigger is according to what Apple's calling this. Anyway, pre-order starts September 12th. Or if you don't want to, pre-order because you're one of those people that like to go out to the Apple store and wait in line for 2 days, 3 days, whatever.
Okay.
The iPhones will be available September 19th, starting at 8 a.m. at your local Apple retail store. The iPhone 6, the 4.7-inch version, will be starting at $199 with a 2-year contract. If you're on Verizon, AT&T, and Sprint, and the iPhone 6 Plus at 5.5 inches. I feel like I'm an announcer at like an arena. The iPhone 6 Plus coming in at 5.5 inches will be starting at $299 with a 2-year contract on Verizon, AT&T, and Sprint. Now, the T-Mobile price has not been official yet, which is interesting in my opinion. But I don't think T-Mobile has any more contracts anymore, and that's why it hasn't been official how they're going to handle this. Right now, well, not right now. Starting September 12th, you can pre-order the iPhone 6 on T-Mobile, but you're going to be buying it stock. There's no cheaper prices yet. So it's interesting what T-Mobile's going to do. I'm waiting for an update on their website. I also contacted some of my guys over at T-Mobile to ask them about this because I don't know what's going to happen. I'm a little scared right now that I won't be able to pre-order my iPhone on Friday because I can't afford $800 to put on an iPhone. So I'm a little curious how that's going to work, but hopefully it all works out and they're going to figure it out. But T-Mobile iPhone prices are not confirmed yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, the only thing you can get for T-Mobile right now is the contract-free version, which is around $800 or $750 for the iPhone 6 Plus.
It's not nice. So
yeah, I mean, realistically, I might have to spend that much money to get a phone due to my issues with phones and whatnot, which is for a completely different video.
Yeah. Also, too, the iPhones are coming in a 16, a 64, and a 128 gigabyte models. So they dropped the 32 gigabyte model, which I'm upset about because I wish they just made the 16, the 32, the 32, the 64, and the 64, the 128. But of course, Apple wants to make us suffer with only 16 gigabytes. So
Yeah, 16 gigabytes at this point. It's usable, but I would fill it up easily. You really got to be careful. I have a 64 gigabyte iPad and I fill that. That thing's full. I have maybe a gig left.
yeah, I mean, I'm debating whether or not to try to put the extra money down for the 128 or the 64 at very least, but I just don't think I'm going to get the 16.
Yeah, don't go with the 16. In all honesty, I would think you should get the 64.
That's what I'm probably going to go with.
For a long-term investment, the 120 gigabyte version might be okay, or I mean, it probably will be pretty good, but you're not gonna be able to sell that phone as easily for the money you want, probably. And knowing you, you're gonna get some new phone when it comes out pretty soon after the iPhone 6.
Actually, I'm gonna commit to the iPhone 6 for a while. I'm gonna give it its fair shot. Honestly, I've been looking at phones. The only phone that interests me is what is it? One plus one, is that what it's called? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to buy the retail. I'm going to keep the iPhone still at the same time. I'm not going to sell that or anything like that. So we'll see how it goes. But really, what it comes down to is it's an iPhone. I very rarely use this word, but I'm actually looking forward to it. Like, I'm actually kind of excited. It's not, I guess, anything groundbreaking, but at the same time, I think it's a very solid update. And I'm pretty happy with it. If I wasn't, I honestly wouldn't be saying I'm gonna get one, but I'm definitely gonna get one, and I'm pretty excited about it.
In all honesty, I'm pretty happy for what's come out. When it comes to iOS and with the iPhone 6 Plus, I did and still do wish that they had more features with the iPhone 6 Plus. I wish that the iPhone 6 Plus almost had more benefits. Sure, we have a bigger screen, we have better battery life, we have a slightly better camera with the optical stabilization, but like feature-wise or how you use the phone isn't really all that different. I was hoping that Apple did something similar to what Samsung did and had like an Apple Pen so you can interact with the phone and write on it and stuff by using a pen/stylus. We haven't seen that. Maybe they'll do that later on. Personally, I hope that would happen. Maybe Apple isn't for styluses. I know a lot of people aren't.
Apple will never have a stylus. I forgot about something when we were talking about this the other day.
I still wish they did, or
Steve Jobs said, do you remember that conference a few years ago when Steve Jobs was still alive? He made a really big deal about how much he hated styluses, that they could never make a stylus device now because of Steve Jobs.
I don't deny that. I don't deny that he said that. But at the same time, Apple's done a few things against Steve Jobs's
But the stylus thing they can't.
Preference.
You don't understand. He made such a big deal about it that they could not do it now.
That honestly makes me pretty upset. I still really hope that there will be a stylus or have a third-party stylus that somehow interacts with iOS pretty well. Though I think with the current version of iOS and even with iOS 8, there's not enough that's going to be unlocked yet to do so. But yeah, with the functionality mentioned with the iPhone 6 Plus, really, there isn't a whole lot right now. But I'm hoping that developers, start using the iPhone 6 Plus well. They optimize it well. Maybe we could even see iPad optimized apps be used on the iPhone 6 Plus. I could see that becoming a pretty big thing. I mean, sure, realistically, my iPad doesn't do a whole lot more compared to a current iPhone, but the experience on the iPad is definitely a bit bigger because bigger screen. It's better almost because of the optimized apps. And if developers work well with the iPhone 6 Plus, then we might be seeing a pretty big reason to go for the 6 Plus. I don't know if you have the same opinion, Trevor, but
yeah, I mean, for the most part, I do. Just looking here at some other things, there are some disappointments. I'm not gonna lie. The one big one is the fact that it's still only dual-core processor. It's not like we're It's quad core yet. 1 gigabyte of RAM in almost end of 2014 in a phone is still ridiculous, and that's apparently what it's got. Apparently, it will reach like 2 gigahertz, still being a dual core. So I mean, it's got some punch to it. But again, it's an iPhone. So yes, my phone has 3 gigabytes of RAM in it, and it's an Android phone, and it runs smooth, decently smooth. Apple with 1 gig, optimizing that thing to the max. It's going to do what it's got to do. I just wish, as a spec person, I just wish I had a little more specs. But going back to what you were saying, though, no, I agree with what you're saying, and I'm looking forward to the phone.
Going back to the comments for a second, someone said you can just buy a stylus for an Apple product. Yes, you can. But have you ever used like a Samsung Note 3? Sure, they have a stylus, but it's not just an ordinary stylus that passes heat through it. It actually is connected to the phone and lets you interact with the phone a bit differently than just being a heat sensitive stick.
Yeah, no, I was showing people on my note while you were saying that.
Yeah, I'm watching the live stream currently, but it has to be at least a minute delayed.
Yeah,
so.
It's a bit delayed.
Oh well. Regardless, is there any other things you have to mention with the iPhone 6, iOS 8, the Apple Watch?
Yeah, is there any questions you guys have? Any comments? Any concerns? Any criticism? Anything you want to add to the conversation here?
Currently, there's apparently 7 people watching, though probably two of the people are you and I, and I know there's 3 people commenting.
Pretty much, wrapping things up a little bit, at least on my opinions. Again, I'm pretty pleased with it. We'll see. I mean, I really, if everything works out and this Apple Pay thing's awesome, and I'm using that, like that's the type of feature which Apple can make work. Android's been trying to do it for years. Google Wallet. It's exactly Google Wallet, except Google couldn't do it because they couldn't get all the brands on it and kind of hard to advertise and not enough people have the same device and blah, 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 blah. But Apple has the ability to make something like this work. So I'm excited for it, not just for being an Apple fan, but if on the Android too. It uses the same technology, NFC. So it's going to make it widespread for everyone. So I'm excited for things like that because it's just going to make it better for everyone. And this is the future. Next year, I don't use my debit card at all. I'm ready to just pay with my phone or watch. That's what I want. That's what's coming. By next year, I hope it's reality almost everywhere.
Yes, I mean, I don't carry around a debit card at this point. I just carry around cash, but I could see having almost a debit card built into my phone being a very useful thing. And okay, with the comments, just so you guys can be quiet, whoever is leaving comments, you are all awesome. That's the most you're getting out of me. I think they want you to say they're awesome too, Trevor.
I'm awesome. No, you're not, dude. Don't lie. I'm awesome. I'm driving in my mom's new ride. No, I'm awesome. You're not, okay? That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, guys. Sorry about that. My opinion, or my side with the iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus, my phone situation is a little bit of a mess. I have a crappy Android phone at the moment, the LG Optimus Zip by LG.
I have a sound effect for that phone. It involves my hands and a finger mostly up in the air.
Yeah, let's not. I think I am going to be considering to get the iPhone 6 Plus, like you, Trevor. For the things I mentioned, I'm definitely looking forward to developers utilizing this phone. I feel like this phone is almost a little bit at a beta stage because it could go multiple ways. It could just simply be a bigger iPhone, or it could be a bit more. And we're going to have to kind of wait and see what happens with that. Also, I'm always curious to see if the cameras are really that impressive as Apple claims, just because I love video and cameras and photos.
Yeah, and I like easy stuff, where when I can do my videos and stuff, it's easy because I don't like messing with the settings. So yeah, I hope it's as good too because I'm just going to use it the way it's meant to be used and not care as much. The only complaint, I have one complaint. You know how Apple always has that new background for all of their phones? Like they always, I don't like the new one.
It looks like it's a snow peak
Yeah.
that like I can ski down.
I'm not digging
Not
it.
saying I can ski, but
Probably my favorite was the one right here that we're using for our little split screen thing, the little cloud, the blue clouds. But yeah, I'm not digging that, but that's not obviously a big deal at all. I'm being
yeah,
facetious a little
people
bit.
change that almost immediately, unless you're shooting a video on iOS. For some reason, everyone keeps it the same then.
Yeah, and also, just FYI to people, if you were going to make YouTube videos, please hold your phone in landscape instead of going like this, because I hate it. And we're talking about new iPhones and video, and just don't do that, and we'll be okay. You know, I won't be mad at you. You won't be mad at me. You'll be shooting 1080p videos at 60 frames per second, which YouTube will now support right on your iPhone 6 or 6 Plus.
I'm gotta say I'm interested to see these phones when they come out. I'll definitely be going to at least an Apple store to try them out. Not saying I'll be getting an iPhone 6 or iPhone 6 Plus exactly too soon. Trevor's probably gonna be beating me on getting a phone, so
Oh, I must be, because I'm gonna get it at launch. I'm gonna try to get it day one.
okay,
We'll
yeah,
see how
I'm
that works
not-
out, because I gotta figure out the pre-order situation. So you have to give me a little bit of leeway for that. But I plan on getting it day one. I'm gonna plan on pre-ordering it this Friday, if all works out. We'll see. I don't know, and I'm not waiting in line, not for like 10 hours or whatever, however long. So I'm most likely not getting it September 19th if I can't pre-order it. But if I can, great. If I can't, maybe we'll be a little bit delayed, but I plan on getting it right away.
Oh yeah, if I'm getting an iPhone, it's gonna be a few months after launch. So nonetheless, obviously I expect iPhone 6 coverage, whether Trevor gets it on time or a few days
Oh,
late.
come
it'll
on,
be okay.
Mister. Like, you're putting all the pressure on me, Mister. I'm not even getting one for months. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it, but just I'm a little concerned. If it was like Verizon or Sprint or AT&T, I'd be like, yep, no problem. But we're on T-Mobile. The prices aren't released, and there's nothing on their website about it yet. So hopefully, I'll find out more information before the end of the week.
And hopefully you won't have to spend $800 to
I'm
get.
not spending $800. Okay, that's the deal. If I have to spend that much money, I'm not getting it right now. I can't afford it. My car broke down again yesterday, so I can't afford all this technology, Eric.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I need to still buy a car, but again, another topic, another video. I don't know why you guys in the comments are asking about Apple Pay. We talked about Apple Pay. It's a paying service on your phone. You can set up like a debit card, credit card, or something to your phone, and then in a location that supports Apple's paying service, you basically swipe your phone, or you can swipe your Apple Watch, and it automatically pays.
Yeah, and it's coming in October.
That's
Apple calls it your wallet without the wallet. Gone are the days of searching for your wallet, the wasted moments finding the right card, the swiping and waiting. Now payments happen with a single touch. Apple Pay will change how you pay with breakthrough contactless payment technology and unique security features built right into that sexy device you have with you every single day. So you can use your iPhone 6 to pay in an easy, secure, and private way.
okay. I think some of that was a little bit
The
made
sexy
up.
part was. So besides that, everything else was right off Apple's website.
Regardless, hope everyone is happy with me mentioning the Apple Pay. I don't think I really have any questions besides someone's asking why you're being so sassy, Trevor. Or maybe it's me. I don't know.
Well, I'm not being sassy because my name's Trevor. That's really it. I'm a more sassy person. Eric's the uptight tie, and look at me, literally tie. Do you have a tie on?
I don't have a tie. I was wearing a bow tie though before.
Okay. Wow, you're pulling off the bow tie. Okay, interesting.
Red bow tie. It was pretty fabulous.
Okay, well, you know, he's the more suit and tie person. I'm the more casual, laid back, ready to pay without my wallet type person. But yeah.
So now we've been going on for actually over an hour.
Yeah, this was supposed to be a half an hour stream. I'm gonna blame this on Eric.
I'm blaming this on Trevor, so this is just gonna be going back and forth, back and forth. Is there anything briefly we gotta talk about? Obviously, this was just an event covering a little bit with iOS 8, the Apple Watch, and the iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus. We're still waiting for Apple to update a few more things. We haven't heard anything about the iPads, the iPad Mini, Trevor, you were right. They did not talk about the iPad or iPad Mini in
Oh,
this event.
oh! Me and Eric were talking about about everything here, and he was like, "I don't think we're gonna see the bigger iPhone until maybe next year. Oh, they're gonna definitely update the iPads and everything." And I was like, "Nope, we're definitely gonna see both iPhones. They're not gonna talk about the iPads yet." I was right. I love it. I'm never right. I feel like this is amazing.
So really, with what you can expect for the rest of this year, I expect Apple to have another event maybe around October or November. They're probably going to be releasing some updated versions of the iPad Air, the iPad Air 2, and the iPad Mini. I don't know what generation one, two, three.
iPad Mini. Well, the new one would be the third generation.
Okay, okay. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like anything new with iOS 8 is going to happen. So, no multitasking, which is what I was hoping for in iOS 8.
Besides what we already have now, which is practically
I mean, multitasking with like
multitasking.
two screens. I know you.
Yeah,
knew
I
that,
know.
when it comes to Macs and stuff, Apple probably won't be doing a whole lot. Yosemite will be coming out probably with the iPads because the iPads aren't going to be any huge updates. We just recently saw an update to the iPad, or not the iPad, the MacBook Pro Retinas. We've seen updates to, well, we don't need an update to the Mac Pro. The Mac Pro just came out last year and it's still a beast of a machine. iMacs recently got updated. The MacBook Airs, I don't think they really got updated, so we might see very minor upgrades to that. Nothing big. I think Apple's really waiting for Intel to come out with their new Broadwell technology. So really, next year will be the big revolutionary time for OS X and Mac and all that. I think this year they're focusing a lot more on the mobile department.
Which honestly, I think is the place where they should be right now. No one's complaining the fact there's not a new Mac out right now, but we were complaining as consumers about the iPhone situation, and I think they covered it pretty well. I think they gave us what we wanted for the most part. Granted, I don't have the thing in my hands yet, and we will definitely rehab this conversation. Actually, I think if you're cool with this, we should have a stream when I get my iPhone. Like, I want to have like a live stream of some sort where we could talk about it, more opinion-based, but kind of like a live first impression / review type thing.
Okay, as soon as you hear the package going on your doorstep, plug in your camera, have like a really long USB extender, start the live stream, and just carry around your camera, do an unboxing of it.
Okay, we can make that happen. I need my Google Glass first, then I can use the Google Glass. That's what I need. But
yeah.
Anyway, that's gonna be a while. But anyway, yeah, I think we mentioned everything. Actually, I think this was pretty good. I think we actually didn't miss much.
The only thing we didn't exactly mention, which people in the comments are mentioning, the cases. Apple came out with.
I didn't think they were that big of a deal.
They're not. Apple came out with their own cases. For the high quality cases, they have a black leather case for the iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus. They also have silicone cases, which are very rubbery and flexible, so not as much protection, more just scratch resistant almost. The leather one I feel like would be a lot better, nicer, firmer. I don't think
this is starting to get a little weird, Eric. Firmer?
Is that even a word?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also, we did miss one other thing. This is very brief, but iCloud. Though it's got some bad press right now. iCloud has a new service called iCloud Drive, which is kind of like, Google Drive or Dropbox or some service like that. Syncs through, obviously, your Mac, iOS devices. Plans go as followed: 5 gigabytes for free, 20 gigabytes for 99 cents a month, 200 gigabytes for $4 a month, 500 gigabytes for $10 a month, 1 terabyte for $20 a month. And there's a bunch of cool stuff you can do with it, like family sharing, which apparently family sharing is a new thing where you can share iTunes, books, App Store purchases with your whole entire family. So I guess if one person in your family buys something, you can still be on another account and they can get it as well if they're part of your family. iTunes Everywhere, which lets you buy in iTunes, iBooks, and App Store immediately accessible to all your devices. I don't know what that makes such a big difference between now and then, but whatever. iCloud photo sharing is apparently, they have some new updates for that, but iCloud's just been, They say it's private and secure.
You want to hear more about that? Go check out our network channel.
Yeah.
You can listen to the Let's Talk podcast.
Yeah, but some improvements with iCloud. I actually like the iCloud Drive thing. I'll be interested in seeing that. But besides that, I think we've mentioned just about everything.
With the before we just go completely off topic with the iCloud Drive service, it looks like they have improved it a bit. I didn't realize that for only $20 a month to get 1 terabyte. That looks like it's been improved.
Well, the iCloud Drive service didn't exist before.
I realized, but they had their own iCloud service, which started off with 5 GB, and basically they kind of had iCloud Drive before. They had iCloud backed up your your photos to a degree. Had your documents, contacts. That's really basically it. And they had similar pricing and stuff. You could expand your storage, but now with iCloud Drive, they're unlocking it so you can have any files in it and not just page and keynote documents and photos.
It also looks like it's going to support Windows, which is really interesting. But there's a Windows computer here, and it's interesting.
I'm not terribly surprised with that. I mean, I do believe photo sharing, like there's a photo sharing app for Windows.
But there's actually a whole iCloud service for Windows, but it wasn't good. Same with iTunes. iTunes on Windows is horrible. On Mac, it's good. You know, they do that on purpose.
Realize though that iCloud is not for Linux, so all you Linux people, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the whole 3 of you out there, we apologize that it will not work good on Linux.
Anyway, anything else we gotta mention before we close out this live stream? Definitely a lot better than my last live stream.
Yeah, not bad, and not too many technical difficulties or anything like that. Maybe a few times where I've accidentally clicked the wrong button or something, but nothing major. Just for a brief second, it goes to the wrong camera
error.
or something. Yeah. Well, you know what the problem is? I have to mark down like what thing does what. I forgot. Like 1's me, 2's the intro, 3's you, 4. Like I just forget the numbers. But
yeah, I could see it being a bit challenging because we're basically doing everything improv at the moment. So you're kind of busy figuring out what to talk about, as well as switching
like when
around
you're
things,
talking, I'm going
jumping.
to you, and I'm talking. When we both kind of going back and forth, it's both of us. Then going to the screen. There's other times you're talking, but you're talking about something, so I'm showing it on the screen. I'm the producer and like director of this whole thing. It's difficult. A lot of pressure.
We will give you some. It's okay, Trevor. We'll forgive you here.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will.
I can't really. If I don't forgive you, it's not like it's gonna change anything.
No, it's not.
I'm keep getting comments about IP Inside Productions. I don't know why. If you want to check out my production company, insideproductions.us. Happy person, whatever. Regardless, I've been saying regardless a lot. I need to end this. iPhone 6 Plus. Will any of you be getting it?
Me.
Trevor be getting it. I might be getting it at some point. Of course, my phone situation is a bit iffy. But Trevor, will you possibly be getting the iWatch or the Apple's Watch?
Yes,
I don't think we talked about pricing about it.
It does not say. That's why we. Oh well.
There is pricing. The Apple Watch will start off at $350, which yes is a decent amount of money. You can buy a phone for cheaper, and maybe probably the gold edition is going to cost even more than $350. Just to let everyone know.
Yeah, so that's the only price we have on it, is that it starts at that. So obviously we know it could be significantly more money for the other models.
Yeah, we don't know if there's going to be maybe even different storage capacities. I don't think they would do that, but if
most
for
likely
some
there's
reason,
no storage, really.
If for some reason they did, who knows? Yeah, definitely different like bands and stuff. Like if you get a metal like stainless steel wristband, it's probably going to cost more than the sport plastic one or silicone or whatever it is. There's a lot of information about the iWatch I keep saying iWatch, Apple's watch, that we don't know about. So we're going to have to wait and see on that. Do you think you'll be getting it though, Trevor? I mean, realistically here, like not for YouTube sake, tech sake, video sake. Do you think this would be something you're actually going to be interested in, actually would consider to get as a consumer?
Yes, I'm getting it. That's already set in stone. As a consumer,
Okay.
I will definitely be getting it. I wasn't joking or being facetious when I said I want to pay with my phone and watch starting 2015. That's really what it. I'm not joking. I feel like that's the future. We already should be there. Apple's gonna make it happen. I'm absolutely gonna buy that watch. Day one that thing comes out, I will pre-order it. I will buy it. Whatever. There's no doubt in my mind I'm gonna get that. No doubt.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And by the way, that's a reason why I'm going to keep this iPhone 6. No, that because you guys said, oh, there's going to be another phone that comes out. You're going to want to get that. No, I'm going to keep it for the fact that I know the watch is coming out later down the road. So at very least, but I feel like this is a year phone for me. But at very least, I'm keeping it till the watch comes out and I get that and see how that works with the phone.
Yeah, and if you sold the iPhone, you probably have to sell the watch too, unless you got a new iPhone, which would be the iPhone 6S or something when that comes out. For me, I would definitely consider Apple's watch. I do feel like it, obviously, we don't know everything about it, but from what we are seeing, it looks like it's going to be one of the better smartwatches out there.
No, I'm going to correct you. The best. Honestly, I have a smartwatch, or I had. My dad stole it from me. I have not seen anything better than what this looks to be. I think Apple has done the smartwatch right, and maybe this whole new iPhone isn't overly impressive to you, but please respect the fact that this iWatch is the best one that is out right now. We gotta wait a year, or we gotta wait a few months until next year, but this thing is much better than anything else that's out there by like 1,000,000%. Nothing else comes close.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had too much of an experience with a smartwatch, so my knowledge is a little bit down there, I guess you can say. It definitely does seem to be a great smartwatch. You're saying it's the best. I'm not going to deny you that. It definitely looks
Thank you for
quite
not
promising.
denying me that. Thank you.
I feel like they definitely looks like they got the concept right. I'm still a bit curious on the apps and what's going to be supporting the watch. How open will it be to developers?
I really hope developers open this thing up nicely, because Apple could be very much controlled on it, or they could open this up. Samsung opened theirs up, and they have a regular app store for it, and I really like the fact they did that. Now, not all the apps are great on it, but Apple, we know, is very strict on their apps anyway, so I hope they're nice to developers. They make them do what they want to do, and don't give them too much trouble. But if they do that, then I'm really excited about the Apple Watch. I keep wanting to call it iWatch, but
I know. I keep making that mistake, and I will keep making that mistake. So sorry, everyone. Anyway, that was what happened today with today's event. What's the date? I don't even know. September 9th, 2014, Apple's keynote. iPhone 6 came out, iPhone 6 Plus, Apple's watch, cases, iOS 8 was mentioned. I think that's about it.
I think that is everything. So, again, stay tuned to the channel for continuous coverage. I'm sure both of us will be making, videos independently, talking more about specific things here and there. I really would like to do a live stream again together when I do get the iPhone, so we can talk about opinion-based, kind of something obviously better, probably more like this, but something kind of like the Nexus 7 video live stream we did a year ago now.
With actually live streams mentioned, for any people that are still watching this or watch through the entire video, whether you're live or
whether you're watching recorded as well.
Yeah, either one. Do you want to see more live shows? They don't have to be an hour and 20 minutes every time, or a bit longer actually. But maybe at least monthly live shows every here and there. Maybe we could set up a schedule or just do it randomly. I know Trevor's mentioned me doing this before, but scheduling could be a bit challenging, at least for me. Trevor knows that, but I'm still willing to try. I am enjoying doing some live shows, so I think that could be kind of interesting if we could do that on somewhat of a basis.
Yeah, I agree. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Regardless if Eric's going to do stuff, there are definitely things that I would like to do live, and other tech events, or other things. Like if I had the option today, which I didn't because I was in school, but I would have totally been doing a live stream while Apple's event was going on and did like a coverage type thing. But there's other times where definitely I want to start doing more live stuff. I love live stuff. I'm good at doing the live thing. Plus, I'm getting a pretty good producer on the spot here. I think I'm doing this pretty good. This whole clicking button thing pretty good now. I just got to get in the hang of it a little bit.
Yeah, I give props to Trevor. If without Trevor, you probably wouldn't be seeing any
You'd be
images or
seeing
anything.
static and bad audio quality.
Hey, my audio is not up to your level, but it's not as bad.
No, it's much better, but that's because of me, and I pushed you on that.
That's very true. You did not make me get this microphone, but you did make me get the mixer and stuff. So I gotta work on perfecting my setup a bit more. I really like how your video looks compared to mine. I just look, I have like a random mic in my face, and it looks like a mess. When yours is like above your head, all professional.
Well,
and
thank you. See, I love it. The only problem is the green screen's a little bit weird here, but forget that.
Now, you actually use an actual green screen, or
For people that are watching, let me just wrong thing. Yeah, it's a real green screen. I can't take away the effect without messing myself up. But yeah, no, it's a real green screen.
Okay.
You probably couldn't do this. I'm rendering this out in real time. Just remember that. Rendering out in real time. You got to have a decently good processor for that.
I have an i5, you have an i7. I think my i7 is overclocked to 3.8 gigahertz.
Let's just
I think it can handle it to a degree. I'm not saying it's gonna be as good as yours.
Okay, I'm streaming live 720p to YouTube. I'm doing live background rendering. Do you want to guess my CPU usage? And we'll end the stream kind of like this. Just guess the CPU usage.
Ooh. I want to say it's really low, but at the same time I want to say it's really high. 82.
21%.
I was gonna go low for a second.
We should have broadcasted in 1080. We could have been fine.
We know for the future.
Yes.
So anyway, guys, thank you for watching this live show. It was a bit longer than we expected.
This is way longer, but I think it was good. I'm actually pretty happy with this.
The only thing is I worry, the only reason why I kind of like shorter live shows is because I think it's going to attract more people to watch it as a recording instead of if it was...
I've tried to explain to Eric multiple times that actually people watch long things. He doesn't seem to understand that, but it's actually true statistically. And especially like past live stuff. I mean, this definitely isn't going to be 1 million views for us, but it will be fine. Don't worry, little Eric. Everything will be perfectly fine. And on Inside News this week, I'm sure you'll mention about the event and do a little fast recap or something like that. So, everything will be fine, okay, everybody? Okay?
Okay. By the way, people are saying in the comments that yes, they would like to see more live stuff. Also, we should have some more guests. Ignore the recommendations they have. So yeah. I don't have anything else to say. Thanks everyone for watching.
Mm-hmm.
This has been the first Trevor and Eric Tech Inside live stream. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Okay, well, guys, I appreciate you guys for watching. Both of us do. Yeah, more coverage coming soon about different stuff, and yeah, cool, whatever.
Videos coming soon. Expect a lot of stuff on the channel.
Yeah, videos. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have any fancy outro. Or,
I have the intro, which I'm going to use for the outro. So, okay, guys, I appreciate you guys, everyone. Mwah, mwah. Okay, I'm done here. I'm just wasting time now. Okay, guys, see ya. Say goodbye, Eric.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.